Good afternoon, everyone. Let's go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining us today. I do see a few of you guys have your videos turned on. If you could turn those off, things might work out a little bit better for you. You won't have any lags in the training today. Ms. Carolyn Taylor, if you could turn yours off, that would be great. It might help you a lot. Okay. So thank you again for joining us today. Tammy is volunteered to be my co-host today, so we want to give her a big shout out and tell her thank you. And Tammy, if you could go ahead and I believe we are recording, but if you could start the transcript, the captions for me, that would be wonderful. It seems to it's not letting me do that. So let's get started. Welcome to today's CACFP Let's Learn. We are going to be going over some updates from our office and some updates in KidKare today. So let's get started. As usual, we're going to start off with our non-discrimination statement. This is something familiar to us all, and we are an equal opportunity provider. In preparation for today's Zoom meeting, please make sure that you have everybody on mute. Make sure you keep your cameras turned off just to save bandwidth and prevent any connectivity issues. I have disabled the waiting room for today's presentation. So if for some reason you do get kicked off, you will be able to just re-enter whenever you log back in. Submit your questions during the chat function. And we will have several people from our office that are on today. In case I miss your questions, they will be giving me the heads up for that. As usual, at the end of today, give me a couple hours and I will be sending out your emails that act as your clock hours for Louisiana Pathways to those of you who remain logged in into the presentation today for more than 45 minutes. You'll be receiving that as usual. And in the next couple of days, we'll have this presentation, the slide deck, and any applicable handouts. We will have that. We will have that on the Louisiana Fit Kids website, where you can go and replay and pull down the handouts and the presentations at your will. The first thing that we're going to touch on today is a little reminder about CN labels and product formulation statements. As you guys know, all of our reviewers are out and about all over the state, and we are conducting reviews and conducting technical assistance visits and pre-approvals. So what we're going to go over today is some of the things that we're finding. So today's presentation is basically a reminder of some of the things that we are seeing and on our reviews and as we're out and about. So CN labels. You guys need CN labels for any combination product, any combination item that contains a protein for our program. And remember, your CN labels, this is not a usual nutrition label that you see on packages. This is your CN label right here. You're going to be looking for this box and the letters CN, 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 CN. This means that it is a part of USDA F&S CN labeling program. This is a voluntary labeling program specifically for child nutrition programs. This label states specifically how this product contributes to the meal patterns that you're serving and in what amount that you need to serve in order for it to contribute. Okay, so these CN labels, there's a trick with these CN labels. Okay, you want to know what the trick is? You have to read them. So read these CN labels. And it tells you right here that, for instance, this whole grain cheese pizza, this 5-ounce slice of a whole grain cheese pizza, it's going to provide 2 ounces of meat alternate and 2 ounces of equivalent grains, okay, and about an eighth of a cup of those vegetables, okay. So you may be, for a younger child, you may be able to serve half of this serving size. You can judge how much that you need to serve, but it tells you exactly what you need to do to meet the minimum serving requirements and exactly what it counts as. Something else, that if a product does not have a CN label, you can contact the manufacturer and they might be able to provide you with a product formulation statement. Okay. So if that label's not available, the manufacturer, when you contact them, they might be able to provide you this product formulation statement. And again, it's going to tell you what it counts as. And I know this is a little bit hard to read, but you'll be able to pull this presentation down off of fitkids.com. And it tells you exactly what it's served and exactly how it counts towards that meal pattern. One of the best examples is this one right here. Excuse me. And this says this serving size of this honey lime chicken is 2 ounces. Okay. So honestly, you would think that if it's a 2-ounce piece of chicken, it's going to meet 2 ounces it's going to be 2 ounces of protein. However, it only provides 1.25 ounces equivalents of meat. Okay. Because of the additional products that they've had to add to this item. Great examples are like chicken nuggets, fish sticks. All of this is made with minced pieces of meat. You have to have additives to bind these products together to where they look like chicken nuggets or look like the little meatballs that some of you guys are serving. So this is why this right here is the perfect example of why you're going to need a product formulation statement or a CN label. If you do not have a CN label or a product formulation statement, when we come to do your review and we see these items on your menu, we're going to have a conversation about what you need to do to not serve these items anymore, or if you can get a CN label or product formulation statement. But just be aware that you do need these in advance. One other thing that I wanted to let you guys know is that if you're ordering from food service vendors, or even if you're ordering from, local retailers, Walmart, Sam's, Kroger's, any of these things, it is very convenient to order things online. Okay. So if they do have available, for example, a CN chicken nugget that they're selling at these stores, when you're ordering those online, make sure that you click the do not sub button on your phone or on your computer, to where if they don't have that one in stock, that they don't sub it with a like item. Because lo and behold, I know everybody seems to have that luck, and trust me, our luck runs the same way, that's the day we're going to be there. And you're going to end up having a subbed item that it's not going to have a CN label. You're not going to be able to meet the components. You're not going to be able to prove that you're serving the components. And we don't want you to be able to not claim that meal. Okay. We don't want you guys to lose out on any reimbursement. So please be aware of that. Next, let's go live to KidKare, because the next items that we want to go over is in KidKare. So voila, here is our live test KidKare account. And for this, you guys, we're going to get you guys on this chat, because I want you guys to point out how we need to correct these things. And I want you guys to tell us what is wrong, because these are the things that we're seeing when we do reviews and when we go out to your centers. I'm going to click on our first child right here. Miss Char Bishop. And we've got some issues right here that we're seeing with Miss Char. And we need to correct these things. Now, KidKare is wonderful. It's going to tell us right up top here in the red, it tells us exactly what we've got wrong, okay, what we need to update. We have an expired enrollment form and we have an expired income eligibility form. Do you guys know the difference? What's the difference in between these two forms right here? Somebody tell me on the chat. These are both two required forms. So let's see. What do you guys use these forms for in your centers? Anyone? Okay. An expired enrollment form, the enrollment forms are what you use to enroll children and to re-enroll children at your center annually. The income eligibility forms, that's just a fancy word. That's the formal name for your free and reduced price applications. And again, we do those. We know we have to redo those every year. So that's the difference in between these two forms. That's why we need them both. And they both
Debbie?
have, yes, ma'am.
I think the confusion there is that we only use one paper form, but KidKare, and we use it for enrollment and eligibility. KidKare does split that into two distinct
forms. Okay. I have some centers that I've been to, they do have a separate enrollment form for them, which was why I was saying that. But thank you so much, Tammy, for making that clarification. So let's go in and fix this. We're going to click on edit. And we have the child's date of birth. We have her classroom. We have her original enrollment date. Okay. We have the date that she was re-enrolled, and we have an enrollment expiration date. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and update, and it's not going to let me do it because I'm in the wrong screen. But we would click right here and we would change that enrollment date to 10/1/2024. And in this case, that would be the same as the IEF date, the free and reduced price meal application date. We would change this right here to 10/1/2024, and it would automatically update this expiration date to 9/30/2025. We would save this, and that error message would go away. I'm going to do this live for you guys. This is looking a little bit different.
You can select the center at the top of the screen.
I thought it was automatically going to do that for me. There we go. So we're going to go back into this child. This is looking a little bit different because this is a multi-site center that we're working in. So we're going to show you how this is going to go away. Again, it automatically updates that enrollment expiration date. And you'll notice up the top here that error message has gone away. Now we need to do the same thing with our income eligibility form. We're going to click on our CACFP. So our IEF expiration was 7/31/2024. It was based on income. Our income level did not change. The child was free, and they still classify as free. And we do need to have this IEF expiration date filled out. Okay, so that's going to be 9/30 of 2025. And I'll hit save. And if you notice at the top, that error message has gone away. One thing that I want to point out is that this IEF expiration date is very important. In the last couple of centers that I know I've been to, this has been blank. So if you guys, this is not a required field as of yet. So this field right here is very important. So make a note when you go back into KidKare, make sure that you have this field filled out, and it will track which forms and when it's expiring, to where you will never, and it won't let you claim a meal or a child that has an expired enrollment or IEF expiration date. That is one of the ways that KidKare protects you. We can't come back on you and try to and take that money back because you've been claiming a child that has an expired form, because if this is filled out, because it won't let you do that. And it really, really, really helps you keep things up to date and on point with the Child and Adult Care Food Program. Any questions? How are we doing so far? Is this clear as mud? Do I need to redo anything? Do I need to show you some more examples? I've got several thumbs up signs going on. Awesome. Thank you for that. Clear now. Okay. I do have a question. Can you renew your eligibility forms online? Yes, you can. Okay. That is e-forms. Now, if you're a brand new center, the first time you collect free and reduced price applications, that is going to have to be on paper. However, to renew them, you can use e-forms to do that. It is quicker. If you have your parents' email addresses and you alert them that they're going to be completing this online, you are welcome to do that. It'll automatically populate. It'll track when you send them out. It automatically calculates things for you. You do have to go in the system and certify that, but you don't have to do that on paper any longer. I'm not going to go into this today because there are a lot of help videos on the KidKare website, but this is how you would do that. It's e-forms right here. So yes, that is absolutely an option for you. You are welcome. Next up, let's go into menus and attendance. This is where we can clear up some confusion, hopefully. I'm going to pull up my calendar. I'm going to go back into January. So I'm going to choose January 7th because I'm getting ready to submit my January claim. Okay. Just like you guys. So you guys are looking at my January 7th non-infant menu. And this is breakfast. What stands out? What are you guys noticing? Uh-huh. Very good. Very good. Very good. You guys are on it this afternoon. Okay. So, and it's really easy to figure out. Okay. In red, KidKare alerts us right here that we have an issue. We've served pita bread. for breakfast. Our issue is with this serving right here. Okay, so we don't have enough. Our actual quantity required based on our attendance. Okay, so we have gone into the computer and we've checked off that box on the top right-hand corner, and this is our attendance for the day. Okay, go ahead and ignore this adult right here, but we've got 48 in attendance. So the actual quantity, the very minimum quantity required for your pork is 33 ounces. We've got 16 and a half slices or 33 ounce equivalents in pita bread. And we're only saying we serve 20 servings. That is not enough. Okay. You're going to want to check what you've actually served. Okay. You are going to want to make sure that that your kitchen or whoever is recording this, that maybe they just hit a typo. You're going to want to get to the bottom of this and make sure that you actually did not serve them an amount which was a lot less than they need. If you did and mistakes happen, leave it. Okay, you won't claim that day. Say, for instance, they have made a mistake because they served all of the pita bread and you know how much you've bought. So if we go and we change this from servings and if they serve 20 servings, let me do this. I'll leave it. They're saying they served 20 servings and those servings were 3 ounces apiece. Okay. So that means instead of 20 servings, they served 60 ounces. So you're going to want to correct that to ounces and you're going to want to hit save. And guess what? The error has gone away. And now you will be able to claim this meal. Okay. So we want to see these menu worksheets filled out timely. We want to see them filled out every day. Let's look at lunch. What do you guys see here at lunch that could be considered, and honestly, what we consider a red flag? What are you noticing about lunch? Ms. Jefferson, you rang the bell. You get the prize today. I wish I had door prizes or something to give out because you were the first one to correctly answer. They match. Okay. So our actual quantity required, the very minimum quantity required, was 76 tablespoons. This institution actually served 76 tablespoons. They needed 17 ounce equivalents of bread. We served 17 ounce equivalences of bread to 30 children at our center. Okay, that means every child got a half a slice. We needed a minimum of 6 cups of carrots. We served 6 cups of carrots. That means there wasn't one extra carrot piece left. We needed 6 cups. We counted out, we measured 6 cups exactly down to the piece of carrot, and that's what we served. And that means no child dropped the plate, nothing was wasted. We didn't have one slice of carrot left in the pot afterwards. Okay? Pears, fresh pears. We needed 5.75 cups of pears, and because we were serving pears fresh. That means that when we grabbed those pears and we peeled them and we sliced them up, we were so accurate that it yielded 5.75 cups of fresh pears. Okay? Do you guys get where I'm going with this? If anybody on this presentation today, or if anybody in our entire program, if you guys are that good to absolutely nail every quantity on the head, I want to come and get you. We are going to go to the nearest 7-Eleven and buy lottery tickets. Okay? Because if you can do that with food, if you can nail everything on the head, we are going to be playing some lottery cards because you are just awesome. Okay, I know, I'm kidding. So this requires actual quantity served. Okay, this does not mean the actual quantity that goes into their little mouths and into their little tummies. This is the actual quantity that you're serving. Almost, yes, Ms. Johnson, yours is always over the minimums. Okay, I haven't been. I don't think I've been in any center where people are half a slicing of bread and serve and getting these actual quantities right. Okay. If you hover for milk, if you hover over this little light bulb right here, it tells you exactly what you've put in. 11.2, 11 and 1/4 cups of skim milk. Okay. 2.25 cups of substitute milk. Okay. Anybody that has the time to, first of all, measure all of this and get this right, just totally hit the nail on the head. You are just an absolute genius. Okay. So honestly, guys, when we see this, we know that you're just going quickly and reproducing and just retyping in your required quantities and not what you're actually serving. So be aware of that. Okay. We want to know what you're actually serving. So make sure that this is what you are actually serving. We want you to get credit for what you're actually purchasing. Okay. If we see rolls right here, rolls in group B, we've moved on to snack right now. So the minimum serving size was 29.5 ounce equivalences. Okay. And we see on your receipts, because we do match the items that you purchase on your receipts. We match them to your menus. Okay. So if we see that you've bought a serving of rolls, and there are 45 ounces in that package of rolls, and you use the whole package, and you serve the whole package, enter 45 ounces. Get credit for that. Okay. Again, juices. Okay. If you are actually required 25.75 cups, okay, do what you're actually, write down here and record what you're actually serving. Okay. So if you're pouring from a gallon of juice and we know that you're going to probably serve over. Okay. And honestly, on these right here, when you serving these juices, if you start off with 1 gallon of juice and you use the whole gallon, you do not have to count cups. You can record this in gallons. I am not seeing gallons on here because it is listed as frozen or cans, but let's go to a 49-ounce can. Okay. Let's see what that does for us. Or a 49-ounce jug of juice. Okay. So it's saying that we didn't serve enough. If we used 2, if we reconstituted it from frozen. Record what you actually serve. Well, I'm not sure what's going on here. Tammy?
It doesn't like the can sizes.
It does not like the can sizes. We're going to go back to cups. And we're going to say if we have 45 kids and we pour a 4 to 6 ounce cup of juice, we're going to go here. Okay. So the moral of the story is please record what you're actually serving. Don't just copy your actual quantities required over to the columns. Okay. Does that make sense? One other thing that I would like to point out is that for our points of service, I'm going to go back to children. I'll go back to list children. Or you know what? We can do this several different types of ways. I'm going to go to our center daily menu calendar. So again, we're looking at January. So we can see we've got a few issues here. It's telling us if you look at using this calendar view is a really quick way to see if you have any issues. Uh-oh. So let's look at lunch. Here's lunch. It's telling me that we're short on milk for that day. Okay. So we get phone calls and we have questions about this. Always hover over the light bulb and it's going to tell you. Okay. So you might have met the minimum serving requirement overall, but you were a little bit short on whole milk. Okay. Because it does break it down for you into your different types of milk. And that's why on the menu calendar that we had insufficient quantities for that day. I'm going to go to current. Let me see for February. I might not have anything here. Okay, so I do. I have something. We're going to pretend like today is February the 4th. So we're going to serve bagels. We have fresh persimmons. And of course, we have milk for breakfast. We'll go back to menus and attendance. Okay, so this is where we record, and I'm going to leave it as today's date, the 26th. Okay, so this is where we know we check children in for the day. Okay, I can say that Max is here for today, and we are on PM snack because that's the meal time that we're on right now. But let's say we're going to go back to breakfast. Okay, so Max was here that day. This child was here that day. And you need to hit it as easy as is. This is how you record that Max received a breakfast for that day. What we're realizing, and what we wanted to encourage you guys to do is record these at your mealtime. Okay. If you guys can remember when we were on paper before we had KidKare, we had a point of service sheet, right? We had that sheet where we had to put the checks or the X's, and we had to record at the meal times that each child received a tray. This, by clicking this fork and the knife right here, we're signifying that this child, that Max, received a tray. This desperately needs to be done at the meal times. Okay. What we're doing as a state agency is we can pull a state health report and it will tell us if you are recording meals and attendance and completing the amount served on your menu worksheets. It'll give us an idea of the time frames that you're doing that in. So we really want to see that your attendance is being marked daily and that your fork and your knife, your point of service meal documentation is actually happening during the point of that meal service. Does that make sense? Yes, ma'am. Miss Tammy, did you want to add something? I saw you came off mute.
Oh, I didn't intend to. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Not a problem. You can jump in anytime. So please be aware of that. Okay. This is meant, the fork and the knife is meant to be documented at the mealtime, and attendance is meant to be documented at the beginning of the day. So make sure that you guys are following those standards and make sure that we're keeping up with our records requirements and the documentations that we need, just like when we had paper. Okay. That needs to be happening during the meal periods again and daily on attendance. Any comments or questions on that? I know a lot of you guys out there, you might have the cook documenting that the fork and the knife that they've gotten at their meals, or the teachers may log into KidKare and do that if they're eating in the classrooms. And that is a best practice. Just make sure that your employees are doing that during the meal period. Question from Ms. Magliolo. Can you check them in during breakfast, or does it need to be when they come in? And Tammy has answered that for us. Thank you so much. Attendance can be taken during the first meal. Is anybody wondering what this red box is on Max? Because Max has a red box around his initials and child 1 does not. So when you see this red box, this just means Max has a special diet or he's had some allergies. Look at you guys go. Awesome sauce. Neato Cheeto. You guys are fantastic. You know exactly what that is. Any other questions? Is there anything else that I can show you in KidKare real fast? We've probably got we're probably about 5 minutes ahead. So now's the time. Okay, picking back up with our presentation. So again, what we're seeing, and this is from reviewers in the field, that a lot of you guys don't have the IEF expiration dates filled out in KidKare, and we've shown you that. The documentation of estimated amounts for the actual amounts, we've covered that. Our next bullet point, economic categories not matching. I think this is just kind of just making some errors that still more often than not, when I'm at a center, I can usually find them money that they're losing because one of the first things that I do or reviewers do when we get to a center is that we'll ask for your free and reduced price meal applications. We will check to make sure that everything is calculated correctly based on the free or reduced or above. And we're going to cross-check it. We're going to ask you to pull up a child attendance roster for the month when we're going to cross-match that in KidKare. So a lot of times you guys will have children listed that are reduced or paid, and those children are actually free. So once, twice a year, whenever you're doing your new IEF forms or free and reduced price meal applications, just go ahead and make sure that your categories match in KidKare and that you don't have any expired or missing free and reduced price meal applications in KidKare. We'll cross-check that again. We'll make sure that you have an application for every child listed in KidKare and that everything matches up. Reminders. We're going to go start wrapping up today's presentation. Keep your CN labels or your product formulation statements. Keep those on file for your records. Okay. Again, make sure that that items aren't automatically substituted for one that doesn't have that. Update attendance in KidKare daily. Mark your meals at the point of service, okay, before the end of that individual meal period. Document the actual amounts of food and milk served. Don't use those estimated amounts. And again, remember that as a state agency, one of the things that we're charged with following up on and ensuring is that we're meeting all of the requirements and all of the standards and able to get all of the reimbursement that is due us. So we can see that. We can pull that state health report and tell if things are being entered way late or very much after the fact. So keep that in mind. Yes, Tammy, I see your comment. Printing that child roster in KidKare will give you the list of children and their current enrollment and eligibility dates. How to contact us. This is who we are. This is how to contact us via email or phone. This is any one of us that work in the child and in CACFP. What happens next? Again, over the next 2 days, you'll receive your email link with the recording, with the webinar recording, possible handouts, where to go. If you're attending the training live, you're going to get your email for your hours, your clock hours for pathways. And remember, we've planned on having trainings and reminders and communications every month. So you'll be on the lookout for those emails of when they're going to be taking place and what the topics will be. And remember, when you're registering via Zoom, please remember to enter in the correct email addresses for each attendee. Okay. So, Ms. Guy, I saw you have a question about where to print that child roster, and I'm back live in KidKare in this test account. We're going to go to reports. We're going to go to children. We're going to pull down child roster. And remember, because I am in a multi-site center, we'll do January. You guys probably won't if you're a single site center, you're not going to have a couple of these drop downs. But again, children, child roster, the month, hit run. It's going to generate the report into your downloads. And here we go. And this is the report of all of the children enrolled at this center. Here's our first one, Char Bishop, that we corrected her enrollment and expiration dates. This FRP right here, this is whether the children are free, reduced, or above. This is the basis of its income. This is the expiration date. It's got their race. And if they are withdrawn within this month, the date would appear here. So this is an example of the child roster report. Tammy, thank you so much. She has added the link to KidKare in the chat for the training on inputting receipts. Ms. Jefferson. Okay, guys, it's about 1:50. We're going to give you 10 minutes back added to your day. If there are no further questions or anything that we can help you with, have a great day. You will still be receiving your clock hours certificate for 1 hour today. And if there's nothing else that we can help you with, please enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for being here. Miss Pierre, I see your question. You're welcome, everyone. Yes, all of those items listed, you do need to have a CN label. Miss Washington, unfortunately, no, that teacher would have had to have been registered with their own KidKare address, with their own email, to where they can receive separate emails for the clock hour certificates.
Go ahead and stop the recording, Debbie.
Yes, ma'am. Amy, you might have to stop this. My mouse pad button is not working.